Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of October the 28th, 2022. How would Alita celebrate Halloween? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado. And with me is Mike Reyes from Cinema Blend. How's it going, Mike?
Oh, it's going pretty well. How you doing, Creaky?
Oh, real good, real good. It's good to have you back, man.
It's good to be back. Look, things have been real busy for me lately with moving into a new place. And
Yeah,
I know I had to pass up Radio Chaos last week, and I'm so sorry I had to pass them up because it has been a long while since I've talked to you guys.
yeah. Well, it's good to hear that you got a new place there. How'd that go? I mean, moving can be a pain in the rear end, can it?
Yeah. Oh, it was a pain, but it's, everything's settling now, getting things decorated and shifted about. And now I'm all of a sudden reminded that I don't actually have the Alita poster. So I think I'm going to have to get that for my new office space.
Oh, gosh. Well, I kind of liked your old office, where you had you had that on-air sign behind you, and you had that, what was it? Was it a fifth of bourbon or something that was sitting behind you on top of the shelf or something like that?
Well, the traditional office space will be back at and for the most part, because that was our liquor cabinet that was next to my bookcase, and that's going to be upstairs. But now I've got an office downstairs, so
nice.
I'll still have the bookcase with the on-air sign and everything. But I might just have to find a platform or something and still keep a couple bottles for appearance's sake.
Yeah, cool.
I know I've got my Casino Royale poster down there already, so that's
yeah. I was going to ask if you had your James Bond stuff down there.
Oh yeah,
of course you do. So anyway, and looks like we got Angelus is just joining us. How's it going, Angelus from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia? How's it going?
It's going all right.
Or I should have said, "G'day, mate," something like that. My Aussie's not too good, so sorry about that. So anyway, how's everything over there in Down Under?
Pretty good so far.
Cool.
The first 8 hours of it.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's right. You have to get up. You have to get up at stupid early, don't you?
Yeah, but it's for Alita, so it's all good, all worth it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I was just saying he does it for the art.
Yeah, he does. Well, he does it for that sequel in the series and anything else we can get out of it. Yeah, we want 6 movies.
And
yeah. Well, before we get started on the regular topic here, I kind of want to ask Mike, how's what's going on over there at Cinema Blend? Mike, what kind of projects you guys working on?
Basically the usual stuff you'd expect, covering the big movers and shakers of the film world. I believe we have someone out doing Black Panther Wakanda Forever interviews today, if not soon. Initial reactions are coming out from that. And then as far as I'm concerned, I've got a couple movies that I've been covering here, and obviously more Bond stuff on the way. I just did a whole bunch of rankings of theme songs from the James Bond canon, which you can go over and read on cinemablend.com or even on my own Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're just onwards and upwards over here, trying to keep things moving and, push ourselves a little harder.
Oh, absolutely. What about Black Adam? Who's working on that one?
We already have interviews up, and I know of course, there's a whole bunch of reactions and features coming, and I've done a couple myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice. That we are actually in process with covering the DC hierarchy shifting through Dwayne Johnson's might.
Well, Dwayne Johnson, he's not only strong physically, but he seems to be strong in the industry too, doesn't he?
Oh, I mean, dude's been a consummate showman, and you could even tell back from the WWE days, he knew how to work a crowd, but he also knew how to basically structure things the way he wanted them. And, you look at his media empire today, he's just, dude's massive physically as well as business-wise.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I was looking at the God, I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes on that thing, and the critic score was like 41, and the audience score was like 90. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like it was almost like it was Alita all over again, you know, because Alita was like 61 and 92 or something like that. And I was going, gosh, you know what is it? You know, because a 90 audience score must be pretty entertaining, I think.
I mean, I would say it's just subjective. It's also just that's how many people have voted on that system. But you know, there is definitely a big push on the media campaign to say, look, the fans have spoken. Black Adam is, you know, here to change everything. And you know, we'll see what the numbers look like this week. But
yeah,
it does certainly look like, according to the Rotten Tomatoes numbers, there's a fandom out there.
Yeah,
how many
there
reviews has it got? Hey guys, by the way.
Oh, hello. Excuse me, Vladi from South England there in the Shires. How's it going there, Vladi?
Hey, Cricky, all good here. Hey,
Real
Mike,
good.
Angela.
Vladi!
Yeah. I see David Watson wants Rock or Dwayne Johnson to be figure 4. You know, I used to really want him, and I think he would probably do a good job, but I kind of like Jason Momoa as figure 4. But anyway, that's the way that one goes.
Either of them I'd be happy with. They both pull in a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I think
They're
they
both
would.
really popular.
Yeah, they would.
Look, when you've got James Cameron as a producer and the checkbooks there, you could probably get both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one could be figure 4 and the other be figure 5. So something like that. So even
Chaos or someone.
Yeah, or somebody. Yeah. So anyway, how's it going, Vladi? How's everything going down there in the UK?
Yeah, it's all good here. It's been strangely warm for this time of year.
Wow.
Oof.
Yeah,
we're normally freezing our butts off at this time of year, but it's been really mild. Quite nice.
Okay, cool. Yes, it's kind of snowed here the other day or yesterday, I guess it was. Yeah, it wasn't much to it though. It melted pretty quick, I think, or most of it did. So
I guess our history isn't the only thing that we share, because the weather is really topsy-turvy, if you want to put it that, here as well, here down in Australia, because it's, you know, like on our side of the hemisphere, if you want to put it that way, we're heading toward going from spring to summer instead of going from fall to winter for you guys. And
yeah, that's right.
And we should be heating up, but like, it wasn't just a couple of days ago that we had storm warnings coming out, and then, you know, like I look outside my level, well, I don't want to brag too much, but level 41 window, and you know,
yes,
hardly a cloud in the sky. It's sunny outside, and it's well, I hate to say it, but it's like, you know, the difference in audience and critic scores. It's just that vastly different. It's weird and good at the same time, I guess.
Well, Black Adam, just from the trailers, to me, it just looked like one of the most generic superhero movies I've ever seen. But there's obviously a big market for that, and people enjoy that kind of stuff. So I can see lots of fans going in and being, "Oh yeah, I really like that."
Oh, I'm going to go see it. It
doesn't surprise me that fans love it and critics hate it.
Oh, I'm going to go see it for sure. I like Dwayne Johnson a lot, you know, and I
like
think
Dwayne Johnson.
I think as time goes on, I think that critic score will come up. That's what happened with Alita. You remember she started out with like 32, and it went up to 61. You know,
thing with Alita was she debuted at 33%, which is like insane. And obviously, it's nowhere near 33% movie. That's like the most ridiculous thing ever. So it almost felt like they were sort of saving face by inching it back up to 60. Because if it was that green splat, no one's going to trust Rotten Tomato scores ever again.
Yeah, that's right. So, but anyway, it's kind of like I was saying a while ago. You know, that the audience score on Black Adam is 90. So I mean, it's got to be entertaining. Got to be.
Why doesn't it change though? The audience scores, they seem to get to one point and they never go up or down on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, as you get more and more ratings, you know, and more people score it, you know, it means
then you think it would at least go up 1 or 2.
Well, yeah, but the more you get, though, the more, like if they gave it a 5 or 100 or whatever it was, you know, and you had like 100,000, let's say, different ratings, it's not going to change the score.
Yeah,
very
well,
much.
they've got 5,000 plus now on Black Adam.
Well, it's probably pretty well stuck then around 90. Then at the very least, it won't probably go any lower than say high 80s, and it might get into the low 90s, because once you get that many, different scores aren't going to change it too much, So
Some fishy going on with RT.
Oh well, it is what it is, as they would say. So. Okay, guys, I guess before we get into the main topic, I guess one thing I just want to remind everybody, and I'm sure everybody on this stream knows this already, but we need you to sign that petition. And I'll bet everybody looking at the chat, I think everybody has signed the petition already. But I think we're adding about 3 or 4 a day. So we probably need to do some kind of mass tweet, to try to give it a little push, because
I was thinking today we could try and jump on the whole Elon Musk buying Twitter thing, because obviously he did that Alita tweet back in the day.
Yeah.
And if we could do some kind of trend to do with that.
Yeah.
That's at least an excuse for it.
Yeah.
Ride that wave.
That's right. So anyway, I know I tweeted out, everybody please sign the petition type thing, and that kind of stuff, but, I guess 176,000, where it is, almost 177,000 is not bad for sure. Like I've said a couple of times, the Snyder Cut folks, they had 170,000 when they got the Snyder Cut. So, we're above that, so, but if we keep going up, it'll get, Disney's got to notice it, I would think, they got to, eventually. Especially if we keep tweeting it, and we tag them on it, they got to see it, I would guess, I don't know. So anyway, if you haven't signed the petition, which just looking at the chat, I think everybody here has, but, spread the word at least, and get them to log on, get into, into their web browser and, sign that thing. So that's what we need. So. And that 176,893, that's where it was as of about 2 hours ago is when I checked it. So, maybe it's got a couple more now since then, but it's inching up, as they would say.
Yeah, it's kind of run its course, really. Let's be real.
Well, not if we hit it hard again. I think we might could get a few more signatures.
It's a substantial amount to to not be written off. So
yeah. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's enough for that. So let's chat about how Alita would celebrate. I got a few pieces of art here before we get to the the slide we want to do the talk about. But this is from way back. I think this was back from October of 2020. And I think everybody remembers that Radio Chaos stream. And of course, they kind of had a couple of thumbnails floating around on that one. They had this one and they had this one, and I don't recall which one they used, so, but they both look pretty good to me. That one really looks Halloweenish to me. I mean, Alita looks like a zombie there, and of course, this one looks more like a standard, a poster, that you would have on a movie. But, that was a really great accomplishment that we got that thing re-released, back in October of 2020, and we got
39. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ways back, isn't it? I mean, where are we now? 130 something, aren't we? That's 100 episodes back, so 2 years. So, of course, 2 years because it's 2022 and that was 2020. So, yeah, it's 2 years,
we were all fresh from the factory back then.
Yeah, that's right. And it was in the middle of the pandemic, too. That was another thing, not that the pandemic's over, but, it's certainly abated or has been reduced quite a bit, I think, to some degree anyway.
Yeah, this was those early days where we were we were mostly indoors, but the theaters were starting to open back up because I still remember that was the last movie I got to see in my local 24 screener before they closed up. And I'm Still mad they closed up because that was one of the most convenient and largest locations that I had by me.
Wow.
Is this in the old place or the new place now?
It's actually, the new place is not very far from the old place, so it would still
Okay.
it would be even more convenient if they opened up right now.
Oh, it's even
Yeah.
closer to your house now then.
Yeah, it's just, it would be probably a 10-15 minute drive, but I would still make it. That location's just sitting there boarded up, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get mad about that. We're talking about Alita at Halloween.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get Alita for, we got a small theater chain here in Denver called Elvis Cinemas. I'm trying to get them to, I've sent them a couple of emails, to, hey man, let's, what do I need to do, to get you to show Alita Battle Angel,
Yeah.
And
I finally got to see Alita again in the theaters earlier.
Yeah, you lucky devil.
Yeah, exactly. I was lucky. In what's it called? The Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square. They did apparently it was requested.
Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, I know where that is. I've been.
Yeah, it's like an iconic cinema. They're quite.
Yeah, it's
quite cool.
Very iconic for their repertory screenings too. And I was jealous of you UK folk because you had all of the Bond movies this year, and we got only one as a Fathom event, and I heard it went as well as you would expect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That reminds me, maybe I better do a video on Alita and James Bond. Sometimes I'll do them like verses, and another one that's just because you figure they'd be on the same side, So
yeah, you got to find topics somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if she's going to fight somebody like Hela, that'd be verses, And of course, with James Bond,
Alita versus Oddjob. I wonder if his hat is made of metallurgy, cut through her.
Flappers only.
I think Alita would make short work of Oddjob personally. It wouldn't be wouldn't be much of a fight, I don't think.
He'd be dead by the time he pulled his hat off.
Probably, yeah. Particularly if she was in the Imaginos body, it would definitely he wouldn't even know he was dead. He'd just be in oblivion right the next millisecond. So But anyway, that's I've been trying to get them to Elvis Cinemas to show Alita, and that kind of thing. And it might be what we might do is get the Alita army to mass tweet at them. I had to find out what their Twitter handle is, and go for it, and just bludgeon.
We give in. We'll put it in screen for one day.
Yeah, that's right.
Stop tweeting us.
Well, that wouldn't just fall into the theater. That would also fall under Disney because they would need to approve issuing the print. And I don't know if it would be the same for Alita, but I've heard that it's a bit notorious to get older films from Disney to go.
The Disney buzzkill. It's always around the corner.
Well, at the Elvis Cinemas, they do show older movies. They mix up newer movies and older movies. I mean,
totally.
Stuff like 20 years ago, and stuff like that. They mix them up. So.
Oh yeah, but that always depends on the distributors and how well they're willing to play ball. And for the most part, I've seen I have a theater like that by me that does a lot of older movies, and they seem to have a pretty good lineup. But I want to keep hope alive because I want to go see it again in a theater. It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's made for theaters, man. It's one of those movies that you've just got to. It's so much better. Well, it's still amazing at home, but there's nothing can beat that immersive Alita experience.
No question. I still remember that was. You don't always get an IMAX screening for something especially. It used to be that with press screenings they would do a lot of IMAX and 3D, they throw in the extra bells and whistles, but in the years going towards the pandemic, they sort of slowed down on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember Alita being one of the big movies where they're we're screening it in IMAX. It's okay, I need to go see that. And without question, that was immersive as hell. And especially on the IMAX screen. I would love for them to retouch the 3D on the IMAX because the 3D was okay. Maybe it was the theater I was at, but I feel like it could have been dialed up a little more, but it was still pretty impressive. And yeah, just bring the movie back to theaters, Disney, please.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, nice segue, by the way, Mike, because just joining us is Lee from Fountain, Colorado. And Lee and I actually, this past Sunday, we braved the cold because for a good bit of this, we saw Alita in 3D at Do Not Stand By's house. And Lee had to make a 100-mile drive to get to it. And we froze our butts off first half of the movie, but we were still doing it, but it got so cold we ended up going inside, into Do Not Stand By's house. But that, 3D to me is an experience. It's almost as good as going to see it on the big screen, provided you sit way down front, of course, so.
You got to be perfectly aligned for that 3D to work, man.
Yeah. Well, Do Not Stand By has one of those active 3D kind of projectors, and the glasses have processors in them and stuff like that, and it's great, man. I mean, that scene where Grishka shoots that grind cutter at Alita, it's like, God, like he's shooting at you,
My mom's got a 3D projector. Obviously she never uses it, but my brother's still with her. And so it gives me an excuse to come down there because I always use it. I always bring the Alita Blu-ray.
You betcha.
But it's only 720p, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh, well.
Still, the 3D effect is worth just watching it from time to time like that.
How's it going, Lee?
Oh, not too badly. How about you guys?
Oh, pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah, I broke my promise to Lee. I told him I was going to read his fanfic, and I could not get around to it this week. I just had too much to do. So, but it's still on my priority list. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, as it is, I ended up pulling the last 3 chapters I had up down.
Oh, what are you rewriting them?
Yeah, I'm going to try and rewrite them because my readership fell off to about 1/3 of what it had been averaging.
Oh, wow.
So even though I'm not getting any reviews or feedback, it seems to say to me that I must have, done something wrong. So I'm going to try and see if I can't rewrite it and maybe touch it up, make it better, something like that.
Oh, good. Then you'll have plenty of time to do that before I get to chapter 21, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Or chapter 22.
Be honest, the fans petition you to rewrite it from the beginning.
No, I've already rewritten it 4 times now. So,
sorry, what's your fanfic about?
It's mostly about a guy dealing with mental illness, trying to survive in Alita's world.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's told from his point of view too, which is kind of cool. So I want to put the.
Is he a cyborg or a human?
He's actually from the 21st century, so he's full human.
Ah,
yeah, he gets teleported up there. So
cool.
Yeah, let me just get the. I want to put your. I'm gonna put your URL in there, Lee.
Oh, okay.
In the chat so everybody can see it. And there it is right there, folks. There it is in the chat. So you click on it, takes you right to it. So, it's I've read the first chapter. I think Lee's happy about that. I did give him some feedback because he'd been trying to get me to read it for like 6 months. But it's a good read. It really is. Alita's not the main character in it. That's what's cool. But she's in in the first chapter, even though she's not really in the first chapter, I'm not going to spoil anymore in the first chapter, but she's a prominent figure there because they mention her a few times, so. Yeah,
her events during the course of the movie have made enough of an impression. People are talking about her.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So.
Alita and Ito and them all do show up in about, I think, chapter 4.
Cool. Well, I got to hurry up and read the first 3 chapters then. Finish the chapters 2 and 3 so I can get to it. So anyway, there it is, folks. You can copy and paste it out of the chat and, kind of go read that thing. Cause it's that first chapter. I really liked it a lot,
Yeah. The world of Alita is just really interesting to explore. So even if Alita's not the main character, it's still really cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's why a spin-off, even without Alita, it would work quite well. I think just having I don't know, a Hunter Warrior show or
maybe, but I think Alita would have to be, to me, I don't know. I mean, I'd watch I'd watch it even if she only had a small role in it. But to me, Alita's got to at least be in there mentioned, or has got to have a small role in it, or a cameo or something like that, or else, you know, it's not going to get the well, you certainly aren't. Well, you probably would get the Alita Army, but you wouldn't get much of anybody else, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. So,
well, I think most of the fans want to see more Alita at the end of the day.
yes, that's right. So,
well, all the fans, not most.
Yeah. So after all, she is our girl. So, you know, we do want to see her, you know. So anyway, yeah, I like that poster right there. God Almighty, that is Halloween, isn't it? So, by the way, I did dig this up off of Twitter. So, you know, I think if you type in Alita Army Halloween, I think is what I put in the search on Twitter, and it has a whole bunch of tweets. And, you know, I pulled some of this down. Plus, you can go into Google and do the same thing, you know, and you'll get some pretty cool.
You have to be careful, though. You might get cursed by Devilita. It's always a
Devilita. Yeah, that's right. Well, Devilita's in here. We're not quite there to her yet. So anyway, and there's just the regular art right there. So done by, what's that? KSM. I don't know who that is, but
very spooky.
Yeah.
Dia de los Muertos too.
So anyway, yeah, you see, very Halloween. Our girl's into Halloween, so there we have it. You know.
And why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
She's so enthusiastic about stuff. She'd definitely be all over Halloween.
Well, I mean, you know, we did get her re-released on Halloween, so you know.
Yeah, it's her favorite holiday.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, you can see.
Are we on to the main topic now?
We're on it now. I'm just showing a few pieces of art here, just to show everybody that Alita you can see and watch Alita. You can, you know, do Alita stuff and that kind of thing for Halloween, because you see she's doing it, you know, and of course there's another one. There's Alita. That's Alita in her Imaginos 1.0 body, I think.
I really want to know how that looks in live action. Yeah. Vitaly Bulgarov on the case.
Yeah. Oh, so you found me after all. Holding a broomstick, looks like she's a witch, you know, on that one. So, you know, it's pretty neat.
I need to dig out my 1/6 scale witch's broom for Halloween for Hot Toys Alita.
Yeah, I think I got one of yours in here. I think it's
oh really? Is it coming up? Oh god.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah. So anyway,
maybe we should just skip it.
No, I didn't get a couple of them in there because I thought they looked maybe a little suggestive. So I didn't put them in there.
That's on you. There's nothing suggestive about it.
Well, it's not suggestive, but maybe it's my dirty mind. Maybe that's what it was.
It's Uncle Creek. Come on.
Uncle Creek, yeah. And Alita is my niece. So, you know, let's get this going here, you know. Mike, I guess you didn't know that. You've been away for a while. You know, I remember we had El Lamont on, you know, and I told her Alita was my niece and didn't know how that rumor got started. And Max said, well, I wonder who started that rumor. It was the Creek, you know. So
it's the internet. Don't believe everything you hear.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that was a fun interview with El Lamont. She's great. So
yeah, we might be getting an extra on. Is that right? Soon?
I'm not sure. Tony's got something going for Radio Chaos, and I don't know who it is. I mean,
let me see who it is. I think it might just be an extra, so not quite as big as El Lamont.
Yeah,
who's not massive herself. But, yeah, FKN. He's been a good Alita Army warrior since the start.
Yeah.
Let me see. Jessie Fisher. Oh, she did stunt.
Oh, yeah,
she's one of the stunt girls.
Yeah, she was a stunt woman. Matter of fact, she did the stunt work for Screwhead. So. Oh,
cool. So that would have tied in well with our.
Stuff. Yeah.
We can ask her about that. So she's
we can.
Probably coming on. They're just trying to sort it out. She said yes, but it was still to be confirmed, sort of thing.
Well, I think probably we're going to need to, you know, come up with questions for her and stuff like that, and let her read them, and, you know, kind of get prepared and see if, you know, we don't you know, we don't want to scare her off or anything, you know.
Yeah, well, we're all pretty nice.
Oh yeah, we respect celebrities when they come on. I know when Elle Lamont was on, man, she was great. She hung in there with us the whole 3 hours.
They all seem to stay on for like 3 hours. Yeah, even Calagridis was on for that long.
Oh, yeah, that was an epic.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they were both.
Who do we get on when the sequel gets announced? That's what I want to know.
Oh, we'll probably get some more on, you know, if we get that sequel.
Cameron Rodriguez, come on.
Yeah, get them both on all together.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Know, it'd be really cool if they used you guys to make the announcement.
Oh, that would be epic itself, you know.
That's me dreaming here, you know. That's me, you know, thinking about that and then, you know, covering that stream and making the magic happen.
An exclusive for Alita Army.
That's right. Make that announcement on Radio Chaos, man. That'd be super. Yeah, it would.
Could you imagine just the eruption that would come from that?
Oh, holy crap. I mean,
I'd probably be able to hear you guys up here in Jersey.
Yeah. Good day, Diz.
Oh, God.
We was hoping you'd tell us, man.
Yeah.
Diz.
Yep.
So how's everything down there in Tassie, Diz?
It's going good down here, mate.
I thought you were flooding in Tassie.
What's that?
I thought you had massive floods in Tasmania.
Yeah, we do, man. I've been cruising around in a boat to get to work.
Just another day for an Aussie.
Yeah, mate.
So anyway, yeah.
Sharing a lift with the kangaroos.
Kind of like Venice, right, Taz? Right there, Dizzy?
Yeah, mate. Got me stick pushing the boat round.
Yeah, that'll do it. Well, maybe it'll drown some of those big ass spiders y'all got too.
So. They're all coming inside, mate, trying to get away from it all.
A swarm of them.
So anyway, yeah, Mike. Back to what you were saying. It would be epic if we could make that announcement. You know, and you know, kind of really hype it up. You know, and kind of advertise it a lot. You know, a major announcement by the Alita Army and all that, and just really just tease the hell out of it, you know, and get, you know, probably a couple of thousand or more people on, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Make a change.
Yeah, it would.
Probably bring so many people back too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we got
the Alita Army resurgence is coming.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know, a lot of folks never really left the Army. They're just not quite as active as they were, you know, before. But we still see them tweeting and occasionally, and you know, they're in the group chats and stuff like that on Twitter, you know. So they're still there, you know. They're just not quite as well. They're not as, how would you say, they're not as dogmatic as we are, I guess. So, you know,
we have to make up for that.
Yeah, we do. So now you see, I was kind of hoping KranberriJam would come on, because the Creek actually did this. I took an existing piece of art, you know, and took Alita's head and put it on that body.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, yeah, but you can tell the difference in the skin complection a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But,
and she doesn't have berserker arms.
Yeah, well, this is in her human body, you know, like in those two places in the manga, you know, where she's
cosplaying a human on Halloween.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, maybe that's her Imaginos body, and she shapeshifted into a human.
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm going as a meat girl for Halloween.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I did that with paint too. I didn't do that with any special
paint. Wow.
Yeah, Microsoft
Old
Paint.
School.
Yeah.
You must have steady hands, mate.
Well, I guess, you know. Someone my age with steady hands, Diz. What do you think?
That's what I'm thinking, mate.
Yeah. 8,000-year-old power lifter with steady hands. Yeah.
Right.
So there you have it.
Already.
What's that, Mike?
Building sequel characters already.
That's right. Yeah, we are. Yeah, maybe I could come on there as Alita's uncle or something, you know, in the sequel, you know. Of course, she doesn't have an uncle.
Great uncle.
Yeah, great uncle or something uncle. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, thanks, Alejandro. Mucho gracias, amigo. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, did that with paint. It didn't take that long either, really. You know.
Yeah.
It didn't.
If they did human body Alita, I don't know, in like a dream sequence or something. Do you think they'd just use Rosa Salazar's body, or do you think they'd CGI it?
Probably just Rosa. Yeah. I mean, that's the simplest way to do it, and plus, it's probably what she would want to do too.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. What would they do with her face though? She's still Alita, right?
Well, they might have to CGI her face and her eyes. They'd still have to do that, probably.
Yeah,
I guess.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to just see her there as well, in some way.
Yeah, in my opinion, Rosa's a really pretty lady, so they could do that. But whatever,
For sure.
But if it's going to be Alita, they'd have to do the mocap thing on her face at least, So, or at least they could do that deep fake stuff. They might even do that, but. Maybe in a year or two, that technology will catch up pretty good. It won't be quite as good as mocap, but it'll be, because I remember that scene in, I guess it was in, not the Mandalorian.
Rogue One?
No, not Rogue One. It was Boba Fett, I think, where they had Luke Skywalker.
That was the Mandalorian.
No, that was the Mandalorian. Yeah,
no, it was Book of Boba Fett.
It was one of them.
Well, there was an episode of Mandalorian and an episode of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it was Book of Boba Fett though. But
I was talking
about a Mandalorian episode in Book of Boba Fett.
Well, where they had I guess where they had Luke Skywalker training, Grogu. I mean, that was pretty good. I mean, I think
it was really cool.
Yeah, it was. It looked a lot like him. It looked like a grown-up Luke Skywalker from that 70s movie to me, and they pulled it off, I think.
Well, they mostly did. I think when he was talking, it didn't quite work as well. And it had the weird AI voice in there.
If you were high, it worked.
I suppose so.
When you're high, most things are possible.
Yeah, that's right.
Except getting up off the couch, damn it.
Yeah. Except for snacks.
Is that where you are, Mike?
Oh no, I'm sitting in a chair. I'm still at the I'm in the temporary office inside the house, sitting at a desk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, when you come on next time, or you come on Radio Chaos, you get that office set up, you'll have to turn your camera on so we can see it, kind of.
Oh, definitely. I will be glad to share that with people.
Yeah.
In your new house?
Yep.
That's cool. You need to put something Alita in the background. I'm forcing you to.
That is also something I need to.
Now, Alejandro Camargo says he didn't think people in Iron City would believe in witches or ghosts, but I don't know, Alejandro. Karula, she's a vampire, and in that world, she's real. So I mean, why wouldn't they believe in witches?
There was there was a fortune teller in the movie, just from the she wasn't like explicitly in the movie, but they showed like the Iron City streets. There was like a hand with an eye on or something like that. It was obviously a fortune teller thing.
In the manga, there was also this guy, I don't know, I think he was a drug dealer, maybe it might be somebody else, but he transformed into a werewolf thing.
Oh, so there you have
it.
So
there's clearly a supernatural element.
Well, I think it was some kind of biological augmentation, but yeah, it was like a very similar to a werewolf.
Well, going by last order standards, it's not too far fetched because you got the bio cyberization, if you want to call it that, from Venus, and obviously the metal cybernetics is from Mars. So cyborgs are from Mars and mutants are from Venus.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of a play on that men are from Mars and women are from Venus type thing. Is that book that came out in the 70s? I bet nobody here even knows that because they're not.
Yeah, no, it's a famous phrase, but I reckon most people don't even know it's from a book.
Yeah.
I remember that book being a big deal in the 90s too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh yeah,
I
I
never-
don't know if it was like maybe it was a resurgence of some sort, but I remember it being mentioned and like hawked to bits quite often.
God, it was in the 90s, because that sucker came out in the 70s. So I think that's when it came. Hell, it might have come out in the 60s. I don't remember.
Well, of course, you probably wouldn't remember because like you were
Here
like,
we go.
in your early 3000, 4000, long past high school, and
Well, no,
you know,
I was 7,950 something years old. So, so anyway, yeah, I think it says here, I guess Enigma Seeker says Alita is the ghost in the shell. Yeah, it's an interesting little statement there since what was her name? Major, what I can't remember the Kusanagi. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Motoko Kusanagi.
Yeah, that's right. So interesting. Yeah. Spirit Warrior. Yeah, that's right. So
yeah, like you would really think they would be into Day of the Dead in Iron City, and that's not just because of Robert Rodriguez's influence on sort of moving the setting of Iron City, at least in the film, but also, as you had said, with fortune tellers, you feel that that's like there's got to be a base level of superstition that's still there with people and on the ground. I don't think Zalem would be that into it, but I think Iron City would be very into it.
Well, plus it would be like tradition, how we, we celebrate Christmas now, and Santa Claus, really all that stuff comes from a pagan ritual and a holiday way back when, I remember that very well. No, but no, that's where it came from. And we still celebrate a version of it today, so I don't see why in Iron City they wouldn't celebrate Halloween just to kind of as an escape of some kind, because.
Well, yeah, they seem that although it's kind of a downtrodden place, they like in the real world they still find things to like cling on to, and there's still lots of color in it, which I'm really glad they didn't. Some of the manga fans did it to be really like dark and depressing, but most places aren't like that, even if it's like Brazilian favelas or whatever.
Yeah,
they still have good time and make colorful stuff. So I think they do Cinco de Mayo type things, as you might say, especially because of their location in Central America.
Yeah, that's right. And I think all down Central America, I think they celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I think Alejandro, this. Type in yes in the chat if y'all do in Venezuela. So
is he in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny you should say that because ironically enough, I'm also glad that they kept a little bit of color in Iron City, because and I know it's like got the word city in it, but if you go too dark, while it was still a good movie and I personally quite enjoyed it at the time, Dark City was a movie that was very, very like bleak.
Oh, sure, in her early days.
Yeah, there was just different shades of black, and for the most part, and that
worked well for the tone of that movie. Alita had like a much different tone.
Absolutely. And
by the way,
and everything.
Yeah, I stand corrected. Alejandro's not in Venezuela; he is in Colombia. Sorry about that, Alejandro. I've said how are things in Colombia many times to you, and for some reason Venezuela popped into my brain, so I don't know what happened there. Must have been all those drugs from the 70s, I think. So So anyway, there's our girl right there. She's cosplaying as a witch, maybe going to a Halloween party.
Yeah,
she's
I've been doing a little cosplay with Queen Studios Alita for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
I'll post that soon.
Oh, by the way, speaking of cosplayers, are you going to upload that video you did with all those? Was it 8 of them or something like that? You should upload that to your YouTube channel, man.
Well, it's already on the Alita Army channels. Just leave it there.
Oh, okay. Well, it is yours, so you know.
But it was made for Alita.
All right. Cool. Yeah, we want that sequel. I remember that. It's nice. So.
Could you imagine a Halloween party at the Kansas bar?
Oh my God.
Denver branch.
It'd be great.
Because you
A
know,
Cinco de Mayo there, that would be nuts. In Iron City.
Yeah, it would.
With Rodriguez handing out drinks. That would be the best thing ever.
Drinks. Yeah, the drinks and chocolate
but-
that he makes.
Yeah, I was going to say
make
he
some
has to
chocolate.
do the chocolate that he made for
Yeah, he can do it live.
the Alita production.
Yeah.
that is still one of my favorite special features to watch. Like him
Yeah.
making that chocolate.
Yeah.
Also, a chocolate orange martini of some sort would be very
God, yeah.
or beer. Like, you know, chocolate orange could work with a beer too, like a nice porter.
Yeah, you know, like chocolate stout.
Yeah, or
And,
stout. That's
Yeah,
fine.
chocolate stout with maybe orange slice poked into it. I don't know how that tastes. So, it might be pretty rough.
That actually doesn't sound bad.
Until you drink it.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I have to go look for a chocolate stout now this weekend and get an orange. And then
Yeah, there's quite a few drinks out there that always sound better than they end up tasting.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
I've had a few of them.
Worst
But
one.
he's
No.
had all of them.
So there's Hot Toys Alita, and I think that one on the right is yours.
Oh yeah, that's mine. Yeah. Before,
Yeah, you know.
she couldn't. Her hair wouldn't fit over the hood, so had to get rid of the hair.
So you had to take off her hair and just put the hood on her, huh?
Yeah, this was before I got her a nice wig and stuff.
Ah. Well, what about that one on the left? Whose is that?
What's her name? It's Tammy.
Okay.
Angela's might remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember the piece. So
Was it Tammy?
yeah,
Tammy Croft.
yeah, she does a lot of 3D renders of like various just like freehand design, if you want to call it that, like as in like a completely like originally created image, or that she'd borrow like bits and pieces from various 3D stencils, if you want to call it that, put it together to make it look like a leader sort of thing. And then because obviously the design isn't exactly like to the letter of the Berserker body, but it's cyberized enough that, you know, even from a distance, it's like you put it in a background of, you know, like dark with a splash of colors, like what's happened here, and you almost don't notice that it doesn't have like any purple in it, which is a prominent color of Alita's Berserker. So so that works out well that way.
Yeah, because Alita's just the ultimate cyborg queen. So any kind of, you can just tell it's her just from her heart-shaped face and the shiny machine body.
Yeah. By the way, Enigma Seeker has given us a little bit of a history lesson here. Yeah, we're not blaming Catholics there, Enigma Seeker, or, you know, for the holidays. It was just a statement there of, you know, kind of just history itself. But you're right about Halloween. Matter of fact, I think it was kind of a celebration. It was what was called Hallows Eve, I think, or something like that, wasn't it? If I'm not, put that in the chat anyway. So, you know, a lot of holidays kind of, you know, got they originated one way or one type of celebration, and then over a long period of time they ended up something else. So I think Halloween certainly is part of that, I guess. So okay, let's see what we got now.
I like being creative with my Alita statues.
Yes. Yeah, I got these. I got a couple of these, or four of them off from Alex Lita. So he put these on Twitter, you know, so I said, oh, I got to have those. So anyway, you can see there, I think the one on the right, that's Devilita, isn't it? So
I'm doing a crucifix at the screen. Back away, demon.
So anyway, yeah, but that's Hot Toys
Wait
Alita,
it
you
to
know, for
work,
sure.
old man.
So yeah, that looks like Devilita on the left or the right, rather. That is, I tried to look her up on Twitter. I couldn't find her anywhere.
The Devil Eater account.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
maybe.
Unfortunately, the person left, and they took everything they ever did with them.
Oh gosh. Okay.
On their main account and on the Devil Eater account.
Because I was going to invite her to the stream, but she probably may not have come. But
well, yeah,
but
yeah, she should have come in character.
Yes, yeah, that'd
but
have been kind of.
Unfortunately, he had a bit of a. You know what happens? People are like, oh no, hope is lost. I've got to leave.
Well, not only that, I'm afraid I don't want to get on the live stream. I can't talk to people in public or something.
Yeah,
that happens sometimes. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, there's there's two shots of a HT Alita right there, and then here's a couple of others. I like the one on the left. That is almost like God, that's like superhero type stuff right there on the left. That's
the eyes are about to explode from whatever she's doing to them.
Yeah, it made me think of that thing I did with her shooting heat vision from her eyes. I remember that slide I put together for Alita for Radio Chaos, So yeah, it looks like she's about ready to zap somebody with with heat vision or something like that. And on the right, of course, it's zombie Alita, I guess, So are those yours? No, that's Alex.
No, it's Alex Alita.
Yeah, that's right.
So for Halloween this year, I'm going a more angelic route with my stuff.
Why?
Because people dress up as angels, right? On Halloween, that's a thing.
Well, I guess so, yeah. And I guess to somebody's point in the chat, I guess Enigma Seeker said that Alita is the angel in the shell. So yeah, there you have it. So.
I need to counteract the satanic influence on Alita Army with some angelic Alita.
Well, hell, we think she's angelic all year long. I mean, what's
exactly? That's why the angel theme works much better. And she's the battle angel, not the battle demon.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, she isn't a battle demon, is she?
Exactly.
So anyway, that's those are two really good, some good stuff that Alex Lita did there for sure. So, okay, so now I guess we can kind of chat about Halloween. How it would be celebrated. I guess in the Alita universe or Alitaverse, as we've been calling it. What do you guys think about the Badlands? Mike, I don't know I don't know if you've read the manga or not. I know Vladdy's read some of the manga, right, Vladdy?
Yeah, I haven't got to the Badlands. I've only read up to the end of the Motorball arc.
Oh, okay. So anyway, Angelus and Lee and Dizzy have read that. What do you guys? Or Mike, you haven't read the manga, have you?
Not yet. I've been putting it off. Well, mostly work stuff. I've been trying to get back into reading in general, and slowly but surely I have. So now that I'm actually setting some time aside to kind of enjoy printed word, this is now I'm going to go back and I actually want to buy the mangas, but the thing is, I don't know if there's a certain like I remember at one point we were talking about there was a new edition coming out that might have had a better translation. And
there's like a couple of Angelus, you know a little bit about this. They have a couple of versions out, don't they? I know the box set is one. That's the one Angelus and I have, I think. Do you have the box set, Angelus?
Yeah,
I do.
Okay.
That's the newer translation, right?
Yeah, I think that's the newer one. Right. Yeah.
It's not quite as poetic as the original. I mean,
so
it's
you could say it's you could say it's a new international version equivalent of the Bible, if you will, and the Viz Media translation is like the King James translation of the Bible.
Huh.
Wow.
That's very deep.
But I mean, it's
a good analogy though.
It is.
Because I know obviously the King James, and I won't spend too much long on this particular aspect, but it uses a lot of language to, you know, to put forth its story or whatever part of the Bible or verse that it's talking about.
Yeah.
And the New International Version is just basically using terminology, slang, even if you want to put it that, from contemporary times, like your 1970s, 1980s onwards, or whenever it was the New International Version was like became a thing.
Yeah.
Because the language is very different from Bible translations. Everyone knows that. And swinging it back to Alita, there are certain scenes that you know, if it wasn't for the actual, like the graphic novel, like the graphic part of the graphic novel, or manga as the Japanese call it, then the lines themselves or the speech bubbles would paint a much more different story, especially when it comes to the your imagination and, you know, painting it in your head as you're reading it. So
Let's see. I guess Finestro asked about the name Jeru. I don't want to jump down there yet, but Finestro Jeru is really Catheres, you know, in the manga. I don't know if you've read the manga or not, but it's also called the Star City. And what it does is it's up in geosynchronous orbit, about 22,300 miles up, which is roughly 30,000 kilometers, I think, something like that. But anyway,
yeah, I was going to say.
yeah. But anyway, Zalem or Teferes is actually, you know, anchored to it, and it's only like 2 miles up. So we had, remember a couple of years ago, we had a stream where we talked about, you know, all the technology in Alita, and we talked about the physics, you know, of how, you know, yeah, that's right, in orbit, Finn, that's right. So how it was anchored, how they would have to have a really advanced, you know, quantum computer, which they had. Of course, that was Melchizedek, you know, that would be able, you know, because one of them is going orbital velocity and the other one isn't. So, you know, you got to kind of balance that out, you know, so, and you'd need a really powerful computer to make that happen. So, but anyway, that's, but let me set the stage for Mike and Vladi, because, you know, about the Badlands, because I mean, you actually were exposed to the Badlands in the movie briefly, you know, when she went out to that.
Yeah. I sort of get the idea of what it's kind of going to be.
Well,
like
that's kind of a good version of the Badlands. In the manga, the Badlands is a lot of different things. You know, of course, it's like, you know, any, you know, geographical location or locations. There's a mixture of, you know, desert, forest, or jungle actually, and maybe shoreline, like you know, like Alhambra was in the manga, you know, where Figure 4 lived, you know, where I guess they had an earthquake or something that took off half of California or something like this.
Yeah, it's a great.
But anyway,
it's a great setting for like infinite stories, because you can discover anything in the Badlands. And for a game as well, it'd be perfect for an open world. World exploration.
Well, the thing about it is, just to set it up for you and Mike, is the Badlands. Imagine the old Westerns, you know, where they talk about the Badlands, and that's where a lot of outlaws are and all that kind of stuff like that. That's the Badlands in Alita, you know. I mean, it's very similar, you know. In some places in the Badlands, there's really high radioactivity. So, you know, you get people that are warped and, you know, mutated and deformed and stuff like this, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. But it's a very harsh place, even harsher, much more harsh than, say, Iron City, you know. So if you can imagine that, and the people that live out there are literally surviving day to day, you know. I mean, with a couple of exceptions, like Chaos is an example, and Den, you know, Den and Chaos, I guess, technically are kind of the same person, I guess. But, you know, but most people living out in the Badlands really are struggling, you know, because that's why Iron City is what it is, where people try to go to the city because it's it's survival in the Badlands is horrendously hard. You know?
Yeah, and at least you've got a community in Iron City and relative safety with the hydro walls and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. So
one of the things they had in the novelization too was that there was still toxins and whatnot left over from the Great War.
Yeah,
that poisoned the land. So a lot of people who went out trying to survive out in the Badlands, tended to get really sick and really twisted in some way.
I just watched that show Chernobyl about the Chernobyl disaster. Well, they have to like evacuate like thousands of miles. Can never go back.
Oh, that's a really good show.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Really depressing, but really good.
Yeah, it's more like a kind of a horror kind of thing. When you watch it, you just know, okay, all these guys are fucked in some way. Every single one of them. Yeah,
it really is. And then we could probably do a whole hour on that, but
yeah, it's public. But yeah, the Badlands is in terms of Halloween. What are we saying about the Badlands?
Well, how do you think would that? Well, first of all, do you think they'd even celebrate
Radio Chaos? I'm sure he'd have a party.
Probably, yeah. Chaos definitely would have a party.
Well, as you were pointing out, the people in the Badlands, at least in the manga, I'm not sure if they'd even really be surviving in the movie version, but in the manga version, they have a hard enough time just surviving day to day, so they may not even have the opportunity to really do much celebrating. Yeah.
The Badlands kind of reminds me of in Maze Runner, another one of Rosa's projects, when Rosa sort of lives in the Badlands. In that movie, it'll be a similar kind of thing to that. I think. I don't know. Has anyone seen Maze Runner?
Well, I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I would imagine it's kind of like Divergent too. I think there's a scene in there that's away from the city that it's been a while since I've seen that, but I think that's pretty tough too. So do you think maybe in the Badlands, now that I've painted that picture of the Badlands and a couple others have kind of given you some extra information where they're just trying to survive, what do you think? Would they be even celebrating Halloween? Maybe if they have kids, they might, what do you think?
Depends how big their group is. If they're literally just like one small family, they probably wouldn't bother, like desperately trying to survive. But there was some communities around. I'm sure they'd do something.
I reckon they'd just go back to Iron City.
Yeah,
probably. Probably, because it's a lot easier to survive in Iron City than it is in the Badlands, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
they do trick or treating in Iron City. Might be a bit dangerous at night.
Well, we'll get there
people
when we get
down women for hearts and stuff.
Yeah, save that thought for the next bullet.
I thought that was a good segue into that next bullet.
Oh, is that right? No, because I wanted to bring up another movie in which the survival was harsh, but they managed to celebrate Christmas. And if you remember, we did a stream on this, a comparison of these two movies, and that was the movie Soldier that had Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah.
If you remember, they dumped him in basically a junkyard, kind of like Alita got dumped, except, I guess Kurt Russell was in one piece, he wasn't just a core in his head, but they were celebrating Christmas there, and life was harsh there, but as harsh as that life was, it probably is not as harsh as in the Badlands, in the Alitaverse. So not to mention you got outlaws out there that are bandits trying to steal everything you got, and that's where the barjack. Yeah.
Didn't later Calagridis say that they were thinking of putting Den in the first movie?
Yeah, when they went out to the ship, she said they were thinking about they would meet Chaos, when they went out.
So we nearly got another bit of the Badlands there already. So
yeah,
he's probably going to be in the sequel, maybe.
Well, I think she wrote him in, but they said, well, it's a little bit too much for because they're trying to cut down.
People already bitching about too much.
They thought it was too long already. Although I would have, when I did watch it, I would have sat there glued to the.
Yeah, give me an extra
watching
hour.
2.5. Yeah, exactly. So I would have done that. You know, I would have just sat there and watched it over and over and over again. I don't care if it's 2.5 hours or 2 hours, but you know, they wanted to cut it back to 2 hours, and that'd have made it hard to you know, kind of introduce, you know, a few new characters. You know, I mean, Chaos would have been great, you know, but you know, the movie kind of in a couple of places jumped around anyway, you know. So
well, we need sequels.
So what do you think? Would Mike, do you think they'd even celebrate Halloween in the Badlands?
I think you would have people maybe going out into the Badlands to celebrate, not the people in the Badlands per se, but especially because of the rough conditions and maybe just some people think it's sort of a haunted atmosphere, so to speak. They would probably go out and do things like, especially when you just watch it. Remember that one scene where, you know, Hugo and the group are taking Alita out to the old ship.
Yeah.
And then just the sort of reverence they have for, oh yeah, all this stuff that sort of crashed from the final nights of the war. It's like, you got to think someone's going to go out there and say, oh, it's got to be haunted. I dare you to go in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it kind of was haunted, wasn't it, with all those dead bodies?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, most of them, I think, were dead cyborgs, but, you know, whatever. So
yeah, they had the big eyes.
Yeah, that's right. They did. What do you think, Angelus? Would they celebrate Halloween in the Badlands?
They got a higher chance of celebrating it in the Badlands than they do in Iron City, mainly because Iron City is not only a lot larger, but you know, it provides a lot more hidey holes for the underbelly, if you put it there, the underworld of the various criminals there, and like in your villages, if you want to put that, you know, where almost everyone knows everyone, they're a lot more smaller, and ironically enough, a lot more, like, their living area is a lot more open. Between that and safety in numbers, they'd probably celebrate it in some way, shape, or form within their confines. Like, they definitely wouldn't go outside of, you know, their perimeter, if you want to call it that, but they'd definitely be celebrating it, like using the village that Doc Ito, after his quote-unquote revelation. I don't know if Vladdy would have. I don't think he's gotten up to that stage yet. But but yeah, in the village that you discover Doc Ito in, they've got a higher chance of celebrating something like that. Whereas with Iron City, because of all the high crime rate at night, you know, people will just stay indoors, and because their indoors is pretty much whatever their living quarters is, you know, there's not much room to, like, you know, have a barbecue sort of thing, have a bit of a party out in the patio or.
Yeah.
So you don't think they do the trick or treat thing in Iron City then, right?
Definitely not.
That might be pretty tough going up.
They'd probably like hire cyborg protection. Ido would have a group of like 12 little kids, and he's like, "I'm here to protect you. Let's go trick or treating."
Well, what do you think, Vladdy? Oh, I'm sorry, Angelus. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna like respond that like only the rich would probably be able to afford that, because, you know, what protection would be available to be on offer, and the only protection there would be is the hunter warriors, and, you know, they no pun intended, charge an arm and a leg, and maybe if you
oh yo yeah. Well, Vladdy, maybe do you think oh, sorry, Angelus, I
was just gonna say maybe a couple of fingers as well. Yes.
I'm glad we got a comedian on the stream here. That's you know. What about it, Vladdy? Do you think they would celebrate Halloween in the Badlands?
In the Badlands, I kind of already answered it, didn't I?
Sort of.
I think it depends on how big the communities are there.
Yeah.
It's. I think of the Badlands as kind of. Did you ever play the Fallout series,
No.
the game series? I
Nah,
always
I
think
don't
of it
play
as
too many
a bit
games.
like that. So there'll be lots of What if you're in like a contained community, you're pretty much safe. So I reckon that there's bound to be more than just Iron City out there. So I'm sure some of them will celebrate Halloween.
Well, that brings us up to Lee then, because Lee has got a fanfic about some folks that live in a village remote from
Cool.
Iron City. What do you think, Lee? And you've had them do this in your fanfic. I don't know. Do they celebrate Halloween in the village that Jason DeShane is in and all that?
Oh, well, he wasn't really from a village. It was a small farm on the outskirts of Zolom's territory.
Okay, yeah.
But there was some celebration of holidays in my my story, mainly because the impression I always got was that people were working so hard just to make a living. Not a lot of people had time to really do a lot of celebrating. So it wasn't necessarily that it was widespread. And if there was celebrating, it was usually just, maybe a small community or something like that were getting together and doing it. And each section of city, considering the culture that was sort of split up amongst I think it was 5 districts of the city, there might be like a variation on the types of holidays that they celebrated. So there's there's the one district that I think they speak almost exclusively Spanish. So it's more probably of a Latino type culture there. So that one probably does like Day of the Dead type stuff, I would imagine.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't really go too much into the holidays, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, Diz, what do you think? Do you think they would celebrate Halloween there in the Badlands?
Yeah, just as I was saying before, mate, I reckon they just haul ass back to Iron City, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
Have a drink at the Kansas bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on the cans there, mate. On the chocolate stout and orange slices.
Yeah.
One night only.
Yeah, I think they would. I don't think Halloween would be celebrated like we do it today, but what I do think, if this is what our future holds for us, is that I think they they do work so hard, like you say, just to survive. They're just trying to get by day to day and all that. Seems to me that they would want at least just 2 or 3 days out of the year where they want a kind of a little bit of an escape or something like that. Little bit of fun, or whatever, and it would probably only last a couple hours on the day or something, maybe a little family get together, and carve a pumpkin out or something, because it would be tradition,
Yeah, probably be like more of a feast than anything else. Like I see people carving pumpkins and maybe making their own candy and then just having like a really good dinner to sort of celebrate.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I do know, my place in North Carolina it's kind of up in the mountains. It's really rural. I think all the years I lived there mainly, I think I only had, I lived there probably 10 years at least. And I still go back there from time to time, but yeah, 10 years, I'd say is a good guess. But anyway, I think I only may have had 2 trick-or-treaters the whole time, and one of them was my grandson. So, so it didn't really count, I guess, So
you kind of had to go up there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. Yeah, Western North Carolina, really, really beautiful area, So, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Somewhere I'll have to visit when I come over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, not too far from where Cran lives. Of course, she lives down near Charlotte, North Carolina, not up in the mountains, So
here's the funny thing too, just as like a completely off-topic thing. Even though I know Cran's real name, I'll probably still call her KranberriJam or KranberriJam. And still call Rido, and probably
Yeah.
still call you Creaky, and
Yeah.
like, and I know Vladi's real name, but I still call him Vladi because
Yeah.
I mean,
It's ingrained in us, isn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Cran's real name too, but I'm, certainly not going to say it. But I'm like you. I just call her Cran. So
It's annoying when people change their profile pics because I'm so like, that's who you are. You're that profile pic, so don't you dare change it. I don't know who you are.
yeah, well, I've never changed my profile pic. I think
Same.
Yeah, it's the same one that when I joined the Elite Army, same one exactly. I think well, that's not true. I think when I first joined, I had my old profile Creek picture, the one of Tecumseh. I mean, that was my profile pic. But getting in the Elite Army, then I switched it over to the one I have now. So I actually put that little band on her head, that you see there, and I did that in paint too, by the way. So anyway,
Creaky, the paint expert.
that's right. Okay, what about Iron City, guys? I think we did beat around the bush on Iron City a little bit. And Mike, a little bit more about Iron City. I think one of the things, before I ask you, one of the things I noticed about Iron City is they do have like some decorative lights there. I know there was that one scene where Hugo was, riding his gyrocycle, and Alita called him and said, where are you? The trial's about to start. And he drives by that restaurant and there's those red hanging lights. To me, that just suggests that maybe these folks may not do trick or treat and stuff like this with kids, but I think they probably would decorate in some way. So anyway, what do you guys think, Mike? What's
No, they would definitely decorate in Iron City. And if you're an adult, that probably means, or if you're just a bar crawler, that probably means a bar crawl. Just,
Yes.
I don't think that much would have changed. You might even have some themed motorball nights, not rollerball, the hell. Have some themed motorball nights for Halloween, which would be kind of cool if everybody kind of like changes up their paint schemes and everything to sort of fit that. And you could just imagine like everyone sort of having like some sort of maybe jack-o'-lantern hats or something.
Yes.
And then obviously when it comes to younger kids, I mean, I agree that it may not be a trick or treat sort of thing, but I still think that this would be another case where either families stay together and have a feast, or certain spots in town might have, kid aimed events where everybody stays in one place, gets to be safe. And then maybe they tell stories about how Halloween was celebrated in the old times before the fall.
In the 21st century.
Oh,
yeah.
Nailed it in one.
That's something that definitely, that now that I think about it, we really didn't get to see much of what family life would be like. I mean, we saw a little bit, obviously, with Doc Ito and his daughter, but we didn't really get to see, what a typical Iron City family would be like, celebrating a holiday where, someone tweaked out on drugs doesn't break into their house.
Yeah.
In the novelization, I think they talked about, I think this was in the prequel, they talked about Ito like fixing or seeing some kids, and so there's obviously like a big family dynamic there. So I'm sure that those kind of things that always keep those kind of traditions going, because you want to have something fun for the kids to keep them positive.
Well, I know in the year 2563, I'll tell them what Halloween is really like. I'll be a celebrity. So anyway,
you guys met my niece?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, I guess Vladi, you kind of already said this, didn't you? But any more on what you think what's going to happen in Iron City on Halloween?
Maybe the trick or treating's a bit too risky, but they probably have like a big party in the market square, surely.
Maybe so, yeah.
Some kind of Halloween oriented party.
And one other thing too, I just thought of is, when Hugo and Alita came up to that little kiosk, where she got the chocolate, got those kind of folks, they may do some kind of make their own Halloween kind of candy, you know, type thing and sell that, you know, on Halloween, you know, or something like that. They might do something.
They'd have a Halloween motorball special too.
Probably.
Oh yeah. And could you imagine, like, they probably dye it like with orange swirls and maybe put a jack-o'-lantern face instead of like the usual cross?
Yeah. They could do so many cyborg body parts that are like imitations of iconic Halloween characters. Like you'd have Freddy's hands or whatever. Is that just Freddy with the hands? Like knives on his hands or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have that with like grind cutters, things like that.
And Ghostface mask.
Ghostface mask, yeah, he'd be good. Just like flying along.
Now we could see Alita cosplay as a witch. Yeah, that'd be cool, I think. What about it, Lee? What do you think about Halloween in Iron City?
Well, as I was mentioning before, the impression I got, at least even in the manga too, people seem to be so preoccupied with just trying to work for the factory and make a living. They don't seem to have a lot of time to really do a lot of like national holiday type stuff. So if they do any celebrating, it seems to be small scale, small community, family oriented type things.
Yeah, maybe some of the places of business there would have their own individual little Halloween type things people could go to.
I could see them doing it because it would promote their business a bit and get people maybe a little bit more inclined to come in and spend money or something.
Well, you know, people don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in Iron City. They do get time off. You know, maybe that's when but probably damn little though, because the
ones that work for the factory itself. There was a scene in the novel that was described when Vector took Hugo up to his office to talk to him.
Yeah,
they passed by a observation deck, and Hugo was able to look out over the factory floor and could see all of the people who were augmented to basically be able to interface with the machinery of the factory. Yeah. And he couldn't tell where one began and the other ended.
Yeah.
And they tended to work very long hours from what I got. The ones that would get off of work didn't look much more tired than the ones coming into work. The ones coming into work only looked a little more rested than the ones getting off shift.
Maybe they work 16-hour days and they get 8 hours off and just enough to sleep a little bit, and then you got to go right back.
Possibly. I mean, it could be one of the big driving reasons why so many people get augmentations, just trying to keep up with the making a living.
Yeah. Well, that would be a sad state of affairs, wouldn't it?
Well, it's the impression I certainly got. It's a whole lot of sad state of affairs in that place.
Yeah, I think
definitely not a good place to be living.
A way of Zalem to assert some control as well, since they control resources, costs, in conjunction with cybernetics.
Yep.
Hence, Doc Ito.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I love hanging out with you guys, because like just with everyone's input, you know, it wouldn't be too far-fetched that Zalem would, you know, even assert some level of like even more oppression over Iron City. You know, they could like for one night only, October 31st, all bounties are worth double their normal price. So, you know, there's security right there. You've got like 50, 100 or however many hunter warriors out there literally getting double bounties, and you know, criminals will be like, all right, well, one day a year I'll just lie low so I don't get caught and not get killed. And then everyone can go out and celebrate, spend money, give it all back to Zalem, or their oppressors up in Zalem. And I just basically got that idea from all you guys.
Yeah. You know, one thing about the factory, you know, if Finn points out it's an evil factory, which there's certainly in the novelization, there's more than one factory, but you know, it seems to me that if there was anything, whether it was a holiday or not, if it impacted productivity of the factory would put the kibosh on it pretty fast, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Although,
I mean, they had any crime, vandalism, or anything like that incurred damage to factory property of any type, or impeded the factory's ability to produce goods for Zalem. I think it typically had, from what I was gathering, a death sentence attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's
they were
right.
real serious about keeping people from interfering with it.
Oh, yeah, they were.
So there's definitely no striking.
Yeah. What about it, Diz? You think Halloween? By the way, Diz and Angelus both, you guys, if you were in Iron City at this time, you Aussies, would you be celebrating any kind of holiday? I bet you would, wouldn't you?
Use any excuse to have a beer, mate.
Yeah, you got it. There you have
What
it.
he said.
That's right.
VD versus 4X.
What do you think, Diz?
Even have parties for when it floods, mate. A flood party. Time to get the beers out. She's flooding.
Yeah. What about, do you have spider parties? Do you have those too? I mean,
yeah, mate. Whatever. You just choose something to go. We'll have a party for that.
See a big spider party, lads.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, any excuse to have a beer, right? I guess that's it.
Because I might even crack one now because I'm talking to you guys. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it's a
Like 10 a.m., but whatever.
Yeah.
That's early.
Well, you know, the sun is past the yard arm, you know, kind of east of you. So, you know, somewhere it's past noon. So
exactly, mate.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we kind of hit Iron City pretty good. What about Jeru? Now, I guess Mike and Vladi don't know Jeru that much. It's Catheres in the manga, but it's a really super advanced.
What Jeru talking about?
The Star City, the city above Zalem.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, it's, you know, now it's hard to describe, I guess, but it's, you know, I guess the culture there and all that kind of stuff, in theory, I guess, is even more advanced, or, you know, more, I don't know.
Is it like the space station Zalem is attached to from the space elevator?
Yeah, that's right. It's a big city that's like Zalem, except it's in geosynchronous orbit. So.
In the novelization, doesn't Hugo go on about seeing like a star that never moves?
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Cottoning onto the fact that was what it was attached to.
Yes.
That would have been a cool scene in Alita if they went up to the church at night time and he pointed out that star that never moves. That could have been a nice scene.
Yeah, that would have been great. You know, I guess that was another thing they didn't want to put in though, because they'd have to explain it. You know.
I really want to get my hands on like the drafts of this actual script.
Oh God, that'd be great. Oh,
I just want to get my hands on Cameron's notes.
Yeah, that's right. 800 pages. Yeah. God, no telling what he's got in there, you know.
That'd be really cool if they could. I mean, maybe if they got further along with the sequels, they would do it. But it would be really cool if they did just release the notes and the script as their own sort of individually bound volumes, so people can really dive into that. I mean, novelizations are certainly a wonderful thing that substitute for that sort of experience. And in fact, I do have the novelization. I just need to actually read it. That I have that, and I have the prequel as well.
Yeah, the novelization is really good. I definitely recommend it. Like, especially when like Alita's waking up and you hear more about Nurse Gerhard's backstory. It fills in loads of stuff.
Ooh, I definitely need that.
Yeah, like how Nurse Gerhard lost her arm and Ido took her in.
Yeah, Yeah, I've never read the novelization, but I do have the audio book, and when I drive back and forth cross country, I listen to it, you know. And I guess when you listen to it, your mind probably forms one kind of picture, but if you read something, I think you get a lot more detail. I can imagine Pat Cadigan really has in the novel itself, it probably has some really great visualization. You know, I mean, she describes things. Yeah.
And like Alita's inner thoughts, you don't. Rose Roxy does an amazing job doing them like visually with her micro expressions and stuff. But it's cool to hear them like written out as well.
Yeah, I like that scene when she wakes up, how she kind of surveys the room and sees that it's pretty kind of old, I guess, but there's no damage from heavy weapons or anything like that. That was kind of interesting the way that was described. So.
Yeah, so her instinct was to be in like a war zone, wasn't it? It's really cool.
So she kind of was even starting to maybe get a little bit of a memory coming back even at that point, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Well, we don't want to stay on Jeru too long because we don't have a lot to go on, you know, except on the manga, and even that's kind of sparse, you know. So can you imagine though a city that's way above the earth, you know, I mean way up there, and it's super advanced, I guess. Even to the point, I guess the scientists were even at one point considering interstellar space travel. A lot different than in Iron City, right? Where, you know, you see all this scrap heap and the scrap yard and all that stuff. But do you think these people would even bother trying to remember what Halloween was like or anything like that? What do you think? Anybody?
I mean, it's possible it may have just completely been forgotten. Sorry, are we talking about Jeru right now?
Jeru, yeah.
Okay, I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
So what were they? Did you say they were? Are they human? Are they from Earth?
Well, I guess they're humans, but I guess they're at this point. Those humans,
orbital community, basically.
Yeah, they're an orbital community. Good point there, Lee. But you know, yeah, they're kind of like Zalem in one way. Nobody at Jeru or Zalem goes to the surface.
For how long?
Forever.
Since at least the fall.
Yeah.
Since the fall.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I reckon they would have kept some traditions from before the fall.
Yeah. Well, so you don't think they would say, I don't want to bother with this? I guess it'd be an excuse to party, wouldn't it?
No, I think they would do it. Like when you look at in like Star Trek, and I don't know, do they have any Halloween themed Star Trek episodes?
Well, they not a Halloween thing, but they did have an episode in Star Trek where they went to this planet that, you know, was kind of like set up like Halloween, and it was run by these little bitty creatures. You know, they were like, you know, maybe 5 centimeters tall or something like that. You know, and they, you know, they were like they were mental giants, and they could do illusions, and they, you know, they made everything look like Halloween. And that one Star Trek, what was funny, you know, in the one Star Trek scene there where Captain Kirk and Dr. McCoy were captured, and they were put in this dungeon, and they were kind of you know, strapped up, you know, to the wall, you know, with chains, and they're both unconscious, and Captain Kirk wakes up, and the first thing he says is bones, and he looks over, and there's this skeleton, you know, the street, and he said Doc after that. Was a little funny, you know, but they did a Halloween type thing there. Now it wasn't supposed to be just Halloween, but it was just the planet, the way they were, you know, I guess they read humans' minds or something like that, and kind of, you know, put this illusion out, you know, they thought would be what humans would, you know, that'd be their environment or something. You remember that, don't you, Mike? That scene? Or did you watch Star Trek?
I've seen some. I haven't seen all of Star Trek. I have seen
I can't remember that.
Yeah, the original series, you know.
I feel like I've watched most of them. I used to watch them on the Sci-Fi Channel. They used to always air repeats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
But I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they're in a space station, they keep some kind of traditions from Earth, just to have something to look forward to every few months.
Yeah.
It's fun for the kids, so why not? But I don't really know anything about Jero at all, so maybe they're all a bunch of weirdos or something.
Well, they were probably similar to Zolamites, you know.
Of which I only know about one of them.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
doesn't.
no.
I don't know. I feel like he might celebrate Halloween. He'd do something crazy, like properly psychotic crazy.
Well, he'd probably do some karma thing, you know. Just, he turn somebody into a monster or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Change their DNA to like turn them into a werewolf or something.
Yeah, something like this. Remember he wanted to make put Alita in an octopus body. Remember that at one point?
What?
So yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That was in the manga, I think. He wanted to put Alita in an octopus body. And
they do. That's going to freak me out so much if they do a scene.
Yeah.
She's an octopus.
No, she's not. Well, I'm spoiling things now, so
I've seen pictures of octopus Alita.
Yeah.
Sure, there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah.
The octopi, Disney.
That's right. Yeah, the thing's got 8 arms. That's how many movies the Creek wants. So anyway, 8 movies, a series, anime. I want all that good stuff. So anyway, as we all do, I think.
2023. That's the year.
Oh, I'm feeling good about 2023. I'm thinking that there'll be a green light.
Then Avatar 2's out, and they've got to do it. They've waited too long now.
And they've made $2 billion on Avatar 2,
Oh god, that's going to be so depressing if it doesn't make anything.
$3 billion. I'm calling it now.
All right, $3
billion.
Great. All right, $5 billion. Yeah, now we might be getting a little bit,
Then we'll get 5. Then we'll get 10 sequels.
Not that 2 billion wouldn't be way out there, but 5 billion. Whoa!
I think 1.5 should be good enough.
No, I'm sure not in Disney's eyes, and I'm sure not in a lot of other people's eyes.
God, I hate Disney so much.
But a lot of other people would probably look at that like you would think it would at least make the 2 billion that the first one did.
Yeah.
Like the only competition Avatar really has to stand up to right now is itself.
Yeah.
Well, that release did pretty well.
Yeah. Well, what's funny though, we've often talked on this stream and on Radio Chaos, that if Disney had not bought Fox, we probably would have had an Alita sequel by now anyway.
Pretty sure we would have.
Yeah, a lot of different things would have. Yeah, because Fox would have been it wouldn't have been as busy.
Fox had nothing else.
Yeah.
Disney have loads of generic stuff that just the sheep keep queuing up for. So
yeah.
But Fox would have needed a franchise like Alita, which did pretty well to start with.
But I wish Disney would just delegate this to 20th Century Studios, kind of like they did in the 90s. How they had Touchstone Pictures, and those Touchstone Pictures did all those movies that Disney was afraid was going to hurt their image or something, so they had Touchstone do it. Why don't they do this with Alita? Let 20th Century do it.
Was Barbarian on Touchstone?
No, Barbarian was 20th. Barbarian. I don't know why I'm getting something. Barbarian was under 20th Century Studios, and I think Alita would be too. It's just even with the 20th Century Studios brand, I think they only allocate a certain number of projects that go under that banner. And that
I saw Barbarian today. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know. Maybe it was because I had a bad crowd, but I was not a big fan.
I was literally the only one there.
Maybe that's the thing. My wife and I need to watch it on HBO and just be home.
The cinema was completely empty. I went to a 12:20 p.m. so it was absolutely perfect for me. And yeah, I think I prefer. I said in my tweet I preferred Smile, which was pretty good as well, but none of them blew me away. It was amazing horror movies, but I thought they were pretty decent. But what was I saying? 20th Century. I feel like they were deciding between maybe doing Alita, but they went with the safest option they could with a Planet of the Apes theatrical, a new Planet of the Apes trilogy. It's Do we really need more talk? It's just why make? It's just going to be more drama. Like you could do it with humans.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Oh.
Especially after that last trilogy. I am ready for more apes continuing that story.
Ready for more apes. Okay. I think I've had enough apes.
For all we know, since Wes Ball is making the Maze Runner, since he made the Maze Runner movies and he's making the Apes movies, he casts Rosa in there somehow, and maybe it's a nice way to sort of remind
it
was in motion capture.
Well, yeah, that's another thing I was bitter about. They should have cast Rosa in it.
What, in the Apes movie?
Yeah, they've already released like the main cast, I think.
I thought they only talked about like one of the main actors being cast.
Well, I think maybe they only announced like there were like 3 of them. One was from the Orville, that's why it stood out to me. One of the guys was not even a massive part. I think he played Boris in the Orville. Do you watch the Orville, Mike?
I've seen the first 2 seasons and still need to catch up on the most recent.
The season 3 is amazing. They have to renew it.
I've heard mixed things about it, and that's why I'm excited about it.
Oh, mixed things, huh? For me, it was all good.
A friend of mine that I do radio with, he's like, it got too dark this season.
I don't know about that.
When you guys see this that's on the screen right now, that came up on IMDb about a year and a half ago, I think. And if you see
it's just some random geezer is nothing.
Oh yeah, IMDb sometimes it's usually grain of salt territory.
It's just like some random dude posting on Reddit, basically that kind of level.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
cling to any hope we can find.
Yeah, we can. That's exactly right. So, yeah, we will. So,
but it's definitely not coming out in 2024. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. It's the 29th today. Well, in the future, and a certain series comes out on the 26th for me. So I've got to check that out.
So it's been out for 3 days. What series?
What is your pleasure?
Oh, we're talking about the Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So worth it, man. I've seen it. I think I've seen it twice by now, and it's oh man, so worth it.
Is it worth it if you haven't seen any of the Hellraiser original movies?
Yes, because it's basically they called it a reimagining of the original Hellraiser. So it's basically like I only know a little bit about the original Hellraiser movies, but it's not cookie cutter. Like they do not have the same characters. Of course, they have a new Pinhead. They have some new Cenobites besides the Chatterer. The Chatterer came back from the OG lineup.
Oh yeah,
but
they've got a new hot Hellraiser. Pinhead, sorry.
Yes, the new. Well, it's funny because he is named the Priest, even though it's technically Pinhead. So now that you've just mentioned it, we technically have a new hot priest for the world to sort of thirst over.
Yeah.
And the sequel,
I appreciate that.
Andrew Scott from Fleabag.
Well, guys, let me bring it.
Watch that. I like freaky horror.
Let me bring it back to Alita, guys.
Okay. We're going to stretch this Halloween Alita theme out as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, now I know the next one. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids.
In fact, it's cold as hell.
Yeah, in fact, that's right. It's cold as hell. Yeah, that's right. So, but what do you think?
Red planet. It should be hot. Yes.
Well, it's not.
It's a burning topping.
Well, I think it in the summertime there at the equator, it does get up to 76 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly about 25 degrees Celsius, I guess, somewhere in that area. So, but I think now what Mars is, of course, we know it's a planet. We know this, but that's the Mars Chronicles. This was Alita as a little girl, except in Volume 2. Where they had her as an armed soldier, but what do you think? It's definitely an Earth colony.
Oh yeah, that transferred over, especially because it's the red planet, and I'm sure on the right day it looks orange. That's how do you not take advantage of that and have some sort of sponsored event where people turn the planet into a jack-o'-lantern? Like just put out solar panels or something that look like a jack-o'-lantern face.
Yeah.
You can see it from the Earth. You see a jack-o'-lantern in outer space.
Oh, it'll scare all the Earth kids.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because for most of Mars Chronicles, Alita is a little girl. She's at the very beginning, she's just barely a toddler. And then
Baby Alita.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean,
do you remember there's like a picture of baby Rosa, and when you do the baby Alita, when you do the baby filter with Alita, she looks like exactly like baby Rosa. It's so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one of that. There was 4 pictures, wasn't it? This person did where they put them all in one frame, I guess. Yeah.
Baby Alita, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they probably would. They probably would take advantage of that on Mars, But Mars, like I say, that the thing about Mars, of course, even in that time, it's not totally terraformed. I think they're living under a dome, I guess. The humans are anyway, and it's pretty much a human colony. I mean, it's certainly I think they'd celebrate all kind of holidays there, just like they do on Earth, I guess.
Well, especially since they're so far out, and since it's a colony that was started by Earth, that's going to be one of those creature comforts everyone's going to want to latch onto. Like every bit of normalcy counts.
Well, I do know the reason why I think they would do that on Mars is because we have an analog, and I know no one on this stream actually saw Apollo 8 go around the moon, right? Well, the creek.
Oh, what?
Apollo 8.
Were we even born around that time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying there.
We went around the moon.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they orbited the moon, and came back to Earth. It was before they landed on it. It was I guess the last flight before they landed on the moon, they just orbited the moon because they wanted to see, could you orbit the moon and then get back into Earth, a trans-injection or trajectory, because they didn't know for sure they could do it, So the computers back then were pitiful compared to now, but but of course they did it. And then I think they did one at Apollo 9, I think, or what, they maybe did 1 or 2 missions around orbiting the Earth, then they landed on the moon. So, but anyway, I digress. But the Apollo 8, they actually did that around Christmas, and I guess the lead astronaut, the team leader, his name was Frank Borman, and he actually, kind of read something, kind of a story type thing or whatever, a poem or whatever, and about the Earth, about seeing the Earth and all that stuff. So he did that during Christmas. So my point is, if they would do that, for just a mission around the moon, and they were kind of celebrating sort of Christmas, certainly they would do this on Mars that had an established colony on it. God, I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. So anyway, moving right along, let's get to Zolom, because I think we all know a little bit more about Zolom than we would Mars or Jeru. So what do you think, Angelus? What about Zolom? Do they celebrate Halloween?
Oh, I know it's not in the manga, but movie-wise, that's Nova's playground. So
yes,
like it'd be so warped and perverted from what we know or what we were told in the context of stories from the past.
Yeah,
that it's like Nova going, all right, how can I screw with the traditions of Halloween using Halloween?
Yeah, that's right. And create a monster. Yeah. Yeah.
What sort of stories can I spin and weave and just all around, screw with people's heads?
Yes. What do you think, Blotty?
Yeah, I think similar to what Angelus just said. I think I don't really know much about Zalem because I've only seen the movie really.
Yeah.
But if they all follow like Nova's kind of like nihilistic kind of perspective,
Yeah.
they'll probably treat Halloween with like disdain and have some kind of like weird twisted version of it or something.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing in the novelization, you get a little bit different kind of a picture of Zalem or the people who live there than you do in the manga. You know, in the manga, it's like, you know, remember Alita gets up that, well, you haven't read have you read this far in the manga? You haven't, I think, Vladi. Well, anyway, you're in for a surprise. She gets to Zalem and it's nothing like she's imagined.
Oh yeah, don't tell me the secret of Zalem.
I'm not, but you know, in the novelization, the people, you know, you get the impression that the people that live on Zalem are really, you know, it's like a super advanced culture. It's like living in a, you know, rich or a very rich gated community or something like this, you know. So,
but in reality, they're all like depressed and on drugs. It's kind of like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, now having set that up, what do you think? Are they gonna celebrate Halloween there on Zalem, Vladi?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think, Lee? You probably got a better take on it since you've probably written a little bit about Zalem. I haven't gotten that far yet, but
well, considering Ito mentioned there used to be police forces,
yeah,
they probably got a much better grasp of history, which means they may have kept a lot of that alive. So they probably do have a lot of the old, or what we have presently as far as holidays.
Yeah.
And they probably have a lot more free time in which to pursue them too.
Do you, in your fanfic, don't spoil it for me, but do you go into Zalem at all about what's going on there or what?
I have a bit of interaction between Jason and Ito concerning Christmas on Zalem.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's going to be cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's not like anything elaborate or anything. It's just a little short bit there.
Okay. What do you think, Mike?
See, I was thinking that these people would be too cool for Halloween, but that's based on the limited, again, the limited Zalem that we have been sort of introduced to through Alita's point of view, where it's like almost Star Trek, but very aloof and very sterile. But hearing what Zalem's actually like, they might go down for some spooky stuff when they're high as a kite.
Yeah. Maybe. By the way, going back to Star Trek, there was one episode there where they had a cloud city. I don't know if you remember that or not, if you've seen it, but it was very similar to what Alita's world, Iron City and Zalem. The people on the ground were kind of like slaves. They mined this material, this mineral for the people up in the cloud city. And the people up in the cloud city were like, it was almost Puritan-like, it was almost, they were almost like goody two-shoes types up there. Whereas the people on the ground were more, they were more, they were more base people, they were more scruffy, they were rough, and stuff like that. And the people on the ground were
not.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Mike. I don't know if you saw that episode or not.
I don't.
But it reminded me of that because Mr. Spock and one of the women on the Cloud City kind of had a little thing going. Not that Mr. Spock could do anything unless it was Pon Far, but but it kind of I always pictured even up in Zalem, if they got bars up there, they got places, they may do bar crawls. Now, I don't think it'd be like in Iron City. I think it'd be more of a, let's go have dinner at this place, have a couple of martinis over here, a drink over there, and maybe something over here, and then we go home. It's not like people down like on Earth today, where they go from one bar to the other and get snockered, So
Yeah, it's not joyful. It's more making an appearance.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it kind of looks like, yeah, I think they probably in the 26th century, at least in some places, celebrate Halloween. Probably in Iron City and in the surrounding villages and that kind of thing. They may do it for escape to a degree. I mean, life to me. When I first saw Alita, the first time, I thought, God, life must be miserable in that city. So it occurred to me that, if they do celebrate any kind of, kind of holidays at all, Halloween or whatever it is, that they would do it to kind of just give them a momentary escape, from the harsh life that they're living,
I agree.
Because, I mean, in Iron City, in the factory, you work till you die. You don't get to retire. So that's just the way it works, I guess.
Yeah, and if your body gets too tired, they just replace your body.
That's right. Okay, guys, any other final thoughts, I guess, about celebrating Halloween in the 26th century?
Well, I definitely think Alita would be there celebrating. She'd be told about it, and then she'd just be all in.
Yeah, I think Eno would. Oh, go ahead, Angelus.
I was just going to say she would be the change that the city needs, because
exactly, they might have all been they might have been forgetting all these holidays. Then Alita comes back with all her positive enthusiasm. She's like, "Come on, guys, let's do Halloween," and she starts getting trick or treating going and stuff.
Or parties, anyway. I don't know. After she lost Hugo, I'm not sure she'd be.
Well, okay, yeah. I'm always sort of speaking as in Alita as when she first shows up, and she's still got her
that's right. Yeah. But Alita, to your point, Vladi, Alita is a force for change. I mean, Lee, you agree with that, right? I mean, just from what I've read in the first chapter of your fanfic, she's an agent of serious change, I think.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the impression I got from some of Cameron's notes that I got to read a bit of.
Oh, cool. You got to see Cameron's notes?
Well, there's actually a website that a guy has a portion of them posted on.
From the documentary, right?
What's that?
I think that's from from the bonus feature, right? Because I just found something on Twitter as well where they show a couple of the pages in one of the special features on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's the Alita Stan Wiki, Future of the Alita Battle Angel Movieverse, Notes by James Cameron.
Whoa, I got to go see that. I got to go read that.
Yeah, please post that link.
Oh,
definitely
put it in the private chat, and I'll put it in the public chat.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can copy this over.
Mike, do you think Cameron will get asked about Alita in the press tour for Avatar?
I know that if I get the assignment, that's going to be one of the questions I want to ask.
Yeah, you better.
So the answer is yes.
Vladi, that's a new Twitter trend.
There's something else that should be of note, because I've been looking up books for the new Avatar, because they're putting out the art book and everything. The art book is Robert Rodriguez writing a foreword.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. So they're obviously really good buddies, and we know they've been talking about trying to get Alita 2 off the ground. So there's definitely something they can share, whether it's good or bad. There's new information we need.
I think if Avatar 2 performs the way that they want, I think that is definitely a feather in the cap of anyone who wants to get an Alita sequel off the ground.
Yeah. I've been finding it funny that he's still talking crap about the MCU even now.
Yeah, it's like we get it. Just stop.
No, you have to admire his balls.
Yeah, that's fair.
And maybe he can take Alita to another studio. After this, Avatar doesn't make enough for them to say, okay, yeah, fine, you can do the lead sequel. Maybe he can, because he's always talking about sort of MCU and Disney in a bit of a disparaging way in terms of their creative, worth. So I don't know. Maybe he's confident he can do something elsewhere. He's not just completely stuck with Disney. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, at the time of this broadcast, it is still sort of word on the street that you don't doubt Jim Cameron. We'll see how that stands after December, but
I mean,
those re-release numbers, it's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I hope so.
God, it'd be great if we could get Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, behind Alita.
Really? I mean, Black Adam didn't do that well, so.
No, but he got Henry Cavill back into the DCEU, though. So.
That's true. So Dwayne Johnson really got a bug in his ear to get that done. It probably get done.
Yeah.
They never end the superhero
Maybe
movies.
we got to start tweeting him. Tagging him on our tweets.
We just need to tweet a whole bunch of celebrities to join up in a studio, and we write like one of those old like campaign songs that you would get like all the celebrities into like going for a charitable cause. Only this isn't so much a charitable cause; it's just an Alita sequel. I know it's not that important, but I'm sure some people would do it.
It's very important. It's crucial for the future of humanity that the Alita sequel happens.
Amen.
Maybe they could do something similar to "We Are the World."
That's exactly what I was going.
We are
the cyborgs.
Everybody remembers "We Are the World," but hardly anyone remembers "Voices That Care."
Yeah.
Ricky remembers.
Yeah, I do.
I don't remember that. It's probably a right thing.
Creaky remembers a lot of stuff, I can tell you.
Wasn't there a campaign using what was the band? Another like song campaign, if you want to call it that, by U2, but I forget the song that they were actually performing.
Oh, it wasn't In the Name of Love, was it? It was
In the name of love. One in the name of love. Sorry.
That's it. No, that's good, buddy.
Thanks.
I didn't know an Englishman could sing Irish guy's song. But anyway, there you have it.
Sunday.
Yeah.
You can't not sing U2 once it's brought up.
Yeah. Holy crap, the stream has devolved into...
What was I've forgotten what song was Angelus even going for?
I can't remember.
I know they did like maybe very early 80s, like mid to late 80s maybe.
Yeah.
What's the song related to again? I've lost track of it.
It's just like maybe like a charitable foundation. Maybe it was
let me see if I can
the one with like Queen and stuff.
Like everyone got behind it.
Live Aid, right? Live Aid.
Yeah, like Do They Know It's Christmas was another one that Live Aid did, where they were.
Was that the one from Live Aid? Do They Know It's Christmas? Do they know it's Christmas time? Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, that's.
So we need to do one for that. Do they know that Alita needs a sequel?
Yeah,
buddy. Photography.
Hey, buddy, keep your day job, bud.
Just needs a little work on the melody.
Well, we need Disney to stop rebooting stuff that's not going anywhere. That's what we need. I mean, goddamn bots.
As someone that really wants a sequel to Tron Legacy, despite the fact that they're doing this new Tron movie with Jared Leto, which I'll still see because it's Tron, I know your pain.
Yeah. So is that not a sequel, the Jared Leto one?
My understanding is it's almost like it might be either a reboot or a sequel that ignores or sidesteps Legacy. And Jared Leto's character is named Ares. That's basically all that I know. And look, there's enough stuff here that you could probably connect the dots to the next script that they already had in place. Because they had a third movie that looked like it was ready to go. And then because Tomorrowland didn't do that much money at the box office, they apparently pulled the plug before they started filming.
I like Tomorrowland.
I love Tomorrowland too. And
yeah.
I don't think they should have pulled the plug on Tron Ascension. It was going to be called Tron Ascension. I don't think we should have pulled the plug on that, but hey, at least we got, Pirates of the Caribbean, Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah. suppose Marvel was like really taking off then and stuff. So.
Well, that's exactly what that's exactly the thing they said. It's like Marvel was taken off at that point, and just Disney sort of looked in house, and they made a business decision because that I guess they thought it might have cannibalized their capital at that point to make anything other than Marvel. But then they bought Star Wars not too long after that, and that just complicated things further. And when they bought Fox, and that complicated things further.
Yeah.
And now, since I guess they've sort of hit a rough patch with Pirates trying to reboot it, now it looks like it may be Tron's turn to shine. But I really hope it's a good movie. But I still want that at least have someone novelize the third script that never got made. That's the one thing that I wish studios would really dig into. Is like you saw that recently with Alien 3. Where even Pat Cadigan wrote a novelization of one of the William Gibson drafts that were discarded.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they did a comic book of another version of that draft. Like, you have 600 pages of James Cameron notes here. Why aren't you writing books of Alita sequels?
Yeah,
getting people excited through that.
There's so many little things like that they could do to at least give the fandom something. But they just seem intent to just completely do nothing.
Again, it's business. It's business. Yeah. It's clout. Like I said, Avatar 2. Avatar 2 sticks that landing and Disney sees another golden goose. That is where James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez should be angling, because Rodriguez himself even said after Book of Boba Fett, if that did well enough, he was going to go and pitch. Yeah. I don't know if he ever got to pitch or if it did well enough in their eyes.
Yeah, that's why we need to ask them again.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of asking,
ask him, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, get on it. Hurry up.
I would love to talk to Robert Rodriguez because he is like one of my dream interviews.
Cinema Blend must have an interview scheduled for Cameron, don't they, for this Avatar?
I don't know if I don't know if the studio's that deep into planning just yet. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I would think around maybe middle of next month they start having those.
Yeah, well, they're really leaving the Avatar promotion till last minute.
Not so much last minute, but just they again they released the movie again in theaters. There's comics that are going to be coming out over the next month or so. Black Panther is probably a #1 focus over at Disney right now, and I can't blame them for the next big Marvel movie. But as soon as that is probably sewn up, they'll turn their eyes towards Avatar.
Yeah. Let me switch the subject on you a little bit there, Mike. In I guess February, I'm going to Austin, Texas. Would it be, do you think, you may not know anything about this, but do you think it'd be possible for, say, just some, a single Creek Indian type guy to get a tour of Troublemaker Studios?
I don't know, but the thing is, what I would love to do is I want to tour Troublemaker Studios as well. It'd be really cool if somehow, like, this is just pure dream scenario and only the man himself can make it happen. But I would love if Robert Rodriguez is like, okay, Alita Army, come on down. Take a look at the place. Let's have a talk.
Yeah.
Let's have a few beers. Let's have a few beers.
Go to the Kansas bar. Let's have a couple beers. Let's talk about let's talk about things here.
Yeah, God damn, that'd be cool. God, the Creek would be there in a heartbeat.
That man is busy as hell, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just it wasn't doing because he's got the Spy Kids reboot coming up. I don't know when he's got like that Netflix Ben Affleck movie Hypnotic. I don't even know if that has a release date.
Is that Netflix?
I believe that's Netflix.
I didn't hear that it was Netflix, but I'm looking forward to that. I like the sound of the plot of that. That sounds right up my street. It's like a government conspiracy, like mind control and stuff.
But yeah, it seems like he just had, and then he's got the We Can Be Heroes sequel on deck for them. Yeah. It's like between Disney Plus and there's probably another platform he's working with, but dude's busy, and I'm sure he loves to keep busy. But stranger things could happen. Maybe you reach out to the press desk at Troublemaker and say, I'm in town, huge Alita fan. Do you guys do tours?
Creek, when are you going?
It's toward the end of February. I got the company I got a contract with, they, they're doing a big conference every year, and
Okay.
it's going to be in Austin, Texas this next
Can
year.
you, even if you don't get to go in, can you just do a drive-by maybe?
Oh,
And just-
absolutely. I'm going to go. I'm going to get an
You
Uber.
can see this Alita set from the road, so it'll be
Yeah.
good to just see it still standing because.
Well, either way,
after Boba Fett,
I'll get some
mild
video.
concerns about him
I'll get
giving up
some
on it.
video on my phone, is what I'll do, and then I'll put together a quick little video.
Get
and put it
some footage or pictures of the actual set from the road.
yeah.
if you can.
Yeah,
'Cause when that set starts going down, I'll just be like, no.
I'd love to do that.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring back Passport to Iron City because I never.
Oh God. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Make it global though.
Yeah.
Make it
Just
global.
be me
And
showing up in London.
just do a troublemaker tour like the old Universal tour. Like have the tram car, have people going through. You've got someone like guiding you through all the sets and everything. And then
let me show you the next best thing there, Mike. This is my bar. Okay, this is
Yay, I love that.
yeah, now you can't see that sign up there, but my stepfather had a sign made called Scott's Pub. So anyway, this is my
The
bar.
Kansas sign is so amazing.
Yeah, the Kansas.
gorgeous.
I'm sorry.
That is gorgeous.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I guess Künstler 99 did that for me. And,
Of course he did. Oh, I think he told me about that too.
yeah. So anyway, and I just kind of pan around. I've kind of made little changes. I was kind of working in there a little bit, so there's a little bit of a thing going on there. So
Yeah,
anyway.
like a decent backdrop that's not a bunch of liquor bottles.
Yeah, no, it is liquor bottles. They are.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like not like for like. Oh, I thought you said you were working down there. I thought you meant like.
No.
studios. I was thinking,
no.
oh, you want to have something to show in your corporate Zooms that isn't a whole bunch of bottles, so that way everyone can think, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do this meeting, and I want to drink too.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you play much guitar, Creaky?
Well, I do, but I haven't picked it up for a while. But I used to play in a band, so
cool.
that was, that's me on the left there, and on the right in that picture. I don't know if you saw that. Let me.
Oh, go back.
Yeah.
I always want people to play renditions.
That was in England. The one on top was England. That's in Germany, right there at the bottom.
Nice.
So you see the English pound up there. So.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Old school, though. We've got different ones now.
Yeah, that's right. That's real old school. Of course, like me, it's old school. And there's my powerlifting medals, and I've added to that since this video. So.
A lovely downstairs area.
Well, no, this is
Or a lovely lounge area.
and of course there's my niece. She
Hey,
she comes over and has a couple of drinks every now and then.
She's got her shoes off. She's relaxing at the bar. Beautiful.
Yeah.
A couple centuries old, so you can drink. There's scotches younger than her.
Yeah, that's right. Hell, I got shoes older than her. Are you kidding? So anyway, well, that's not true. She's over 300 years old.
Yeah, I was like,
Holy crap, I don't have shoes 300 years old. So
The rumors persist, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, they do.
Creaky is a vampire.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna dress up as Figure 4. I think that's what I might.
He's an
do.
8,000-year-old cosplaying powerlifter.
That's right. Okay, guys, we've been going over 2 hours. So anyway, any last thoughts? I got one more slide, and this is a very important slide, and that's this thing right here. So this is for Angelus. So anyway,
How do you share? Oh, it doesn't matter.
how do I do what?
I was thinking of giving a preview of Alita in her angel.
Okay, yeah, you see the little button.
But I don't know how to do the camera. How to share the camera? Sorry.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, let me see how would we do that? Can you turn? No, not present.
I
just
can turn
turn
on
your-
cam.
Yeah,
I'll
turn your
hide my
camera
ugly
on,
mug for now.
and I'll
And can I
there-
switch camera to the front?
I don't know how you set. There you go. Yeah, and you can. Yeah, there you go. We can see it.
There
Flatty,
she
why
is.
is this relocation?
Does that work? Can you see her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
She's in a cute little angel outfit.
Nice.
I don't know if you could see that. I had to sort of turn it around.
Yes, yeah, we see
Right.
it.
We
Just,
can.
just see it fine. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for the
Can't
wait
be
for the photography on that one.
Can't turn it off. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. Cam's off now. Sorry about that.
Yeah. That's all right.
Once
No,
he came.
that is cool. Yeah. Yeah. Finestro likes it. So,
Ben's always a fan of my work.
yeah, he is. We're all a fan of your work there, Vladi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, guys?
Yes.
No, I guess happy
Go ahead.
Halloween.
Yeah. Go
How
ahead, man.
annoyed.
We've got a crazy stream tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Seems a bit wild.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'm gonna
That's Star's theme, right? So I'll be interested to see where he's going with that.
I'm gonna plug it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. What's up, Angelus? What you got?
Oh, I was going to say, how annoyed would Sean be if we bugged him to get Mike to be the Avatar rep?
What do you think, Mike?
I guess he does owe us a bit of a favor since
I don't know. I mean, hey, I have no sweat. Well, I might be able to talk to people, but like I think if the fans really said something that it might, I don't know if it would do a damn thing. I mean, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am crossing my fingers and I'm putting all the bribes in the right places.
yes.
Any last thoughts, Vladi?
No, happy Halloween all.
You bet.
And I might come on tomorrow on the stream.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Try and keep Star in check. I don't know where he's going with that.
Yeah. Well, he's going to manage the stream tomorrow. I'm just going to be on there to make a nuisance out of myself. So anyway, Lee. Oh, yeah, Lee. Any last thoughts?
Not really. No.
Mike, any last thoughts?
Yes. Parents, be sure to check your children's candy because you don't know if you'll find Grishka in there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that all kidding aside, yeah, make sure, no, you do. All kidding aside, make sure, because there's some really goddamn weirdos out there, pardon my English. See, it wasn't French, that was English. So anyway.
No, French is more lyrical when they swear.
Yeah, that's right. So. Okay, guys, I guess, did we miss anything?
A sequel?
Yes.
Yep.
We are missing a sequel. Yes.
So and
we're missing a series, and we're missing more anime, and we're missing, more, just more Alita. We're missing it. So
There is a distressing lack of Alita in the world.
yes, there is.
Exactly.
It was disturbing.
Yes. Most definitely. Okay, and as you can see, Alita does love her Uncle Creek. She comes over and has beers all the time. No, she doesn't. So anyway, okay, there's our queen right there, Rosa. I mean, I say this every week, but in terms of being an actor, she is #1 in the Creeks book. Man,
God, I just want her in more stuff.
Absolutely.
I was in Barbarian today. I was thinking, oh, she would have been really good as like the lead girl in this, because in Brand New Cherry Flavor, she did that horror thing so well, where everything was falling apart.
I still got to see that. Damn it, I haven't.
Brand New Cherry Flavor.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Should.
I saw Undone. She was great in Undone. God Almighty.
She's really good in everything. I wish Disney gave her something a bit more prestigious than the show that she got was fine. But...
Wedding season?
Sorry?
Wedding season?
Yeah, Wedding Season. I enjoyed it, but it was kind of a little bit niche. It was very British.
I
don't know.
You should like that then, Bloody.
I did like it. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
But I don't know. They could have given her something a bit more prestigious.
Yeah.
So now that we're on the topic of actors, I want to just throw one last quick question to you fanatics out there. Is there any good adversarial character that Amber Midthunder could play? Because I feel like Rosa Salazar versus Amber Midthunder would be
that would be sick. Yeah, that would be great.
Especially after Prey.
Yeah. She had such Alita energy in Prey. I love that.
Yes.
God, I gotta see that too. Jesus, I haven't
Yes,
seen
you
that.
do. It is.
Yeah.
It is so good.
It was so cinematic as well. I wish they released it in cinemas.
Yeah. You know, it's almost as if the film was made for that and then just sent to streaming.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's on Prime, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
it's on
Hulu.
Disney.
It's on what?
Well, Hulu or Disney Plus, I guess.
Or
depending
Hulu.
on where you are.
Okay, yeah, Hulu. Yeah, I have Hulu. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But it's a hoot. It's another one of those things where when something becomes a streaming hit, I wish they would give it more of a push to go into theaters after that, because you could probably make a decent amount of money even though people watched it on streaming.
Well, that's kind of what we're hoping for Alita, you know, that they do like some kind of series on Alita like Robert Rodriguez wanted to do, and then when that became a hit, then they could go for the, you know, the sequel, you know, after Avatar, you know, I mean, Avatar
Or just
2.
get Alita back on streaming. Like I don't even know where that is at this point. I know I think last we saw it was like FX.
Yeah.
She's stuck on FX.
Yeah. And you could
forget Your Mercy.
Yeah.
I want to die.
Oh yeah. No. We can't do Forget Your Mercy. No, we can't do this. So anyway, you see Rosa, she's number one in Creek's book, Jack, and it sure
she's the best, and I'm just so sad I hardly ever get to see her these days.
Yeah, and she's it doesn't hurt too that she's pretty. Boy, she is pretty. I also want to give a shout out, like I've been doing here last few weeks, to Elle Lamont too. That's Creek's other celebrity crush. You know, she's nice. She's a good act. She did Screwhead real well, you know, I mean, for sure. And she was good in Salvage Marines too. I mean, you know, she played a squad leader, you know, so you know, she's her and Rosa, they're my celebrity crushes. So there you have it. So and I want to see them in more stuff, damn it, Disney.
My main celebrity crushes: Rosa, Isa Gonzalez, and Ana de Armas.
Oh yeah,
we need to get Anna in one of the sequels.
Yeah, Isa Gonzalez, I like her too. Yep, she's okay in my book. Yep,
she can come back too, because her like body and face could have just been like a stock, like beautiful cyborg, you know, total replacement thing. So she could easily come back. It's just a completely different person, but with the same face and body and voice. Or different body, but the same face and voice.
Okay.
Rodriguez would definitely want her back. I know he loves her.
Yeah. I think he likes Elle Lamont too. I mean, he
loves
because she's done
he
like
picks
11
all the finest Latinas.
Yeah. Yeah, Elle Lamont. Actually, Elle Lamont's part Native American too. She's
nice.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
To answer Mike's question, I think the only possibility would have to be like one of the lieutenants in the, like, this is a manga reference, but seeing as they like take quite a lot of heavy inspiration from the manga, and they've got nothing but the manga because they've taken everything they can from the anime/OVA, is one of the lieutenants in the Künstler unit that Alita encounters in the beginning of Mars Chronicles.
Ooh.
And yeah, basically, like, I mean, obviously they'd use the like just have like a copy of whatever like AI that they have for like leaders mocap for any AR units, but as for other Panther Künstlers, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's like a, how should I put it, like a female only unit or like division, if you will, of Panzer Kunst, isn't there?
I don't know if it's female only. I mean, it looked like in the movie where they look like AR units to me. You know, when she was in the gravity chamber, those there was like 2 gravity chambers behind her and Gelda, and both of those had, of course, it had what looked to be 2 Alitas in each one. You know, to me, you know, I mean, now you couldn't really see a lot of detail, you know, because they were way behind and all that, you know, but it would lend some credence to the fact that, you know, that they were kind of, you know, producing these berserker bodies or whatever, and they were kind of like almost in an assembly line fashion, you know, and they'd put, you know, people in them or whatever, you know. So and of course we do know in the manga Alita's AR1, where she's just, well, I guess she's AR1, she's not a replicant, but you know, and then of course there's AR2 through 12, you know, so you know, it kind of follows that train. I thought a little bit, I think. Yeah, Dizzy went to get some coffee. We missed you, Dizzy. We saw you drop off. Yes. Okay, Mike, I'm sorry. Were you gonna?
No. I was just saying that's, you know, food for thought for this growing army. Yes,
absolutely. Okay, tomorrow on Radio Chaos, Angelus, are you going to be the host on this, or is Maxie going to be the host?
That's like saying, is Rosa Salazar going to be a leader in the sequel? I mean, I think it's pretty much a given.
Okay.
So, can I just confirm what the topic is? Is the topic Alita's smile simultaneously begins and ends World War III?
No, it's well, did they change the name of it? Because I think in the guest sign-up sheet, it's a little different, I think. No, Uwu is a weapon. Is Alita more dangerous than we think?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this could get interesting. I might have to get drunk for this one. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's why we had the Uwu thing a while ago. You know, I mean, that's kind of why, you know, why we had this one. You know, not that one, but the one prior to that.
Alita is the only way to prevent World War III.
Yeah.
Just sit all the world leaders down, get them to watch Alita. Then they'll all have something to agree on. Okay, we must fight to get to the sequel first.
Yes.
And then we can build world peace from there. I think I said that in the tweet.
Nobel Prize for Disney. Simple.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Well,
actually,
peace will come. They just
at this point, I mean, I want a sequel, Lottie, just like you said, but at this point, if they did a series first, then the sequel, I'd be okay with that, as long as they didn't stop with the series. They got to do the sequel too. But
I've got to announce it at the same time.
Exactly, and I want more Alita. That's what I want, you know. So
the public's demanded it. You could easily net yourself a Nobel Prize, an Oscar, Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah.
You mentioned Oscar. Now I'm triggered.
Yes. Okay, guys. I guess that's pretty much it. If Alita
got an Oscar nomination, we might have even got a sequel much sooner.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point, because to me, I mean, I can't believe that Alita didn't at least get a nomination.
It's an outrage.
You know, yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, effects or even sound
design, cinematography, VFX, obviously.
Set design, all the whole 9 yards.
Basically, every single technical award, Alita should have swept through them all. And I would also argue some of the more subjective awards, like director and screenplay, like adapting like the best manga adaptation of all time. I think that deserves some recognition as well. But the Academy just, all right, I'm just going to calm down.
Yes.
No, you're right.
Oh, go ahead, Angelus.
No, he's right. I mean, in both aspects, both probably needing to come down, otherwise he'd, you know, have an aneurysm or something. But
well, I'm waiting for Cameron keeps coming up with these like controversial takes on MCU and stuff. I'm just waiting. He's obviously like biting his tongue massively about like Alita and everything that happened to a cinema release. And I'm just looking forward to him finally like removing whatever's like stopping him from talking about it, and we can unleash hell on the dark forces that sabotaged Alita.
Yeah, we don't want to get too violent on the stream here, Bloody.
I mean, Unleash Hell like with like angry tweets.
I think the it's just to re-sum it up so Creaky can end it. It's like what Mike said earlier. Cameron being a safe bet. I mean, like not only will it still make a solid, 1 billion easy street.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and quite likely even, highly likely, I should say, make the 2 billion ceiling.
Yeah.
And smash that as well. But like not only will all the fans are still there, not only will all the fans ignore the haters, but I could almost guarantee you that all the haters will hate watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. And there
like,
wasn't there just recently there was that CBR, was it CBR article which was like the sequels that should have happened, and Alita was number one of that. She's always number one of like the most in demand sequels. I've forgotten what my main point was, but yeah.
Well, anyway, just to kind of paraphrase, I guess what Lottie said a while ago from that famous movie Tombstone, the Alita army's coming and hell is coming with us.
God, yeah. When the sequel news drops, Alita army will just go nuts, and it'll just be like World War III on Twitter again.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Mike. Holy moly.
Well, we're wrapping up anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. So.
All right. Comes on, we can join the after party, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay, I guess, well, we all know why this image is here, and that's because I like it and I'm running the stream. And to paraphrase Gerwishka, I am only here for our girl. Oh, there's Mike. He's coming back. There, we got you back, Mike. Excellent. What happened? So anyway, I'm only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And of course, we're all in the Alita Army here for our girl. She's our girl, and we want that sequel, damn it. So any last thoughts? Very last thoughts, guys?
Help us, Avatar. You're our only hope.
Yes. Yeah, we need a kind of a projection, I guess, from R2D2 on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So anyway, I guess we like we always do at the end of every stream, both on this stream and on the Radio Chaos stream, we always do our call to action. That would be on my count of 3, and that is 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby. And we will see you next week on the Alita live stream, and see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos.
Take care, guys.
Ta-ta.
Yeah.
Night.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.